The Herodric Cube. 6-sided dice.
He's ready. He's ready, folks.
Hello, Earthlings and beyond. I guess you normally expect to hear Derek's voice this time, but we're coming at you with a little change on what we like to do. We're giving Derek a break from behind the DM screen, and we're going to let me have a go at this, which is, kind of scary because I've never actually done it before. I don't mean just for the podcast. I mean ever.
Go, Nick, go.
We seriously decided this, I think 5 days ago. Derek's like, hey, do you want to check out an adventure to run sometime? I'm like, sure. Found it, read it. I'm like, okay, that'd be fun to run sometime. Maybe got some lead up time. And here comes Derek and go, hey, do you want to run it on Saturday? So here we are. I'm taking it as kind of a lubeless trial by fire, I'm calling it. So be prepared for some traction, some aggravation. But first, let's introduce everybody here with me today because I am super excited to see what we do. Super excited to get started. So the voice you'll recognize already, the man usually with the plan, Derek.
Hello, everyone. I will be playing a character today, and I am very, very excited. I will be playing Jacob Casson, a 17-year-old human cleric of Sarenrae. His father died early in his life, and his mother remarried the guard captain Gregor. Jacob has a huge crush on his stepsister, Valeria. His great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather is Eket Casson, founder of the town. His mentor is Father Rantel Prast, and he's still learning his crafts from him to be a better cleric. He spends most of his time trying to pray away his constant urges. His goal is to one day be a hero so he can get any girl he wants. He's very much like a, teenage male. And to make Sarenrae proud and stuff.
Hello, Jacob. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, I'm very excited to play a player, and I got full confidence in you, Nick. I knew you could pull it together in 3 days.
Oh, that's a lot of confidence. Feels good. And sitting beside him, joining me across the table, a very familiar voice to all of you, Mike.
Hello, everybody. You may remember me from previous Pathfinder characters such as Anders and Marlowe, and also Winslow. Yeah, he's very familiar and beloved to all of you, thousands of our fans. Yes, that's me. I'm excited to try another experimental character. It's very off the cuff. Very, we're gonna
impromptu. There's a lot of new stuff going on today.
You people like your improv? Well, be prepared to get your improv. You're going to get improv out the wazoo.
Mike is fired up.
So thank you for joining us for this, we'll call it a new endeavor, an experiment, nay, a challenge, because we're going to have some freaking fucking fun today.
Yeah.
So Mike, you want to tell us about your character, who you're looking at?
Ah, yes. My character goes by the name Smegrun. I am the Smegrun, not Smegrun, not, hey, that guy Smegrun. I am the Smegrun.
Thanks for clarifying.
Yes, well, I am, I'm a little older, I guess you could say. Very high intellect individual. I am a wizard, I guess I should say that. I've lived in Casson for 50 years. Under the tutelage of my mentor, Holgast. He's always thought he was better than me. Gets me to do his dirty work, his laundry, his sorting his unmentionables. Torturous, I tell you. But one day, I'm going to learn the magic, the powerful magic, and then we'll see who's the mentor and who's the apprentice, Holgast.
Awesome. Thank you for coming, Smegrun. This is great.
Delighted to be here.
And then I would be remiss to introduce our final player. We had a lot of trouble getting somebody today, unfortunately, but we are excited to introduce, I don't even think we've asked their name. They're here with us, but is there something, how do they want to be referred to?
You can call me Aria. It's a name that feels fitting for an adventurer like this.
Aria, thanks for joining us today. I don't even know how to respond to you because we type in what we want. Yeah, I guess a little look behind the curtains. Obviously, we have involved our first use of ChatGPT on the podcast. So another first for us too. So let's just pop all the cherries today.
This is going to be so good.
Everybody's excited. Derek's excited to be playing a character. I'm excited to try to kill him for once. Oh, that's going to feel so good.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, you don't know all the saves you're going to have to make.
It's all right. I'm good. I'm a young, hardy man.
The hard part, I understand.
It was a double entendre.
That's a delightful voice you have there, Arya.
So, Arya, before we get into that and hold things back on your own end there, Smegrun. Arya, describe for us your character. Tell us all about Jacob's crush.
Absolutely. Valeria grew up in Casson, a town she cherishes dearly for its close-knit community. From a young age, her father, Gregor, instilled in her a strong sense of duty and discipline, as he trained her in combat skills and served as the guard captain. However, Valeria's mother's passing was a difficult time for her and her father, but Betty, her father's new wife, helped bring some stability back into their lives. Although Valeria remained somewhat distant, she found solace in her martial training, excelling in the ways of the sword and bow under her father's guidance. She developed a close bond with Smegrun, the quirky wizard, and often sought his guidance and assistance in matters of magic and magical items, learning to appreciate his eccentricities and his invaluable knowledge. Valeria's commitment to the town and its safety is unwavering. She takes her honor of being chosen for the quest to retrieve the Everflame very seriously. Despite her prowess in combat, she still struggles with understanding her own feelings and the complexities of relationships. She is blissfully unaware of Jacob's affection for her, as she is focused on the task at hand. As we venture into the crypt, Valeria's determination to succeed will drive her. However, amidst the quest, she may find herself facing personal revelations and unexpected emotions. These experiences could challenge her preconceived notions and force her to confront her own feelings and relationships.
Oh my God, that is so much better than our backstories. That's so in depth. All we did was tell ChatGPT like a basic intro of what's going on. And it came up with all that. That's insane.
Yeah, we gave her stats, her proficiencies, her skills and everything, her equipment, and said, let's put her into the world.
All of our jobs are in jeopardy. So
Yeah, this is the end. It's going to be like AI podcasts, way better than any other podcast.
The next Tales episode is just GPTs chatting with each other.
Yeah.
But would they have a DM? They need somebody to run this thing.
Yeah.
So I should mention that today's adventure is sticking with the Pathfinder first edition that we do on the regular podcast. And this is running a module called Crypt of the Everflame. We've adapted it to the map and locations, everything else going on around in Novus. So
It's Novusified.
This tale takes place in the northeast corner of Novus, in a town called Casson. Casson has become a sleepy town over the last few decades, its history etched in time. Its founder, Eket Kessin, after a particularly fruitful adventure, settled down and began by building a trading post, a stopover, for those continuing to their destinations. Originally named Kessin's Hold, for the first 10 years of its existence, things were good, and the small settlement flourished. That is, until one day, an ex-adventuring partner of Eket's named Asar Vergus showed up. He believed that Eket had slighted him when parting ways previously, and had brought a band of mercenaries to ransack the settlement. The raids continued relentlessly for 2 months, until Eket learned of the whereabouts of Asar and his men. They had settled into an old crypt in the nearby woods. On the 4th of Neth, Eket and a group set out to rid the lands of Asar once and for all. The battle was bloody, but Asar was finally slain, his mercenaries scattered to the winds, with only a few villagers surviving to tell the tale. Eket himself was mortally wounded in the battle and succumbed to his wounds only a few days later back in town. To honor him, the villagers brought his body back to the crypt once more and entombed him in a grand sarcophagus, on an altar above all the other sarcophagi that they had buried Asar and his men and the fallen villagers in. Above Kessin's final resting place, they lit an eternal flame, so that any who entered might find warmth in the wilderness. These days, threats exist in the air around Casson, formerly Cassin's Hold, in the form of orcs that raid down from the banks of the nameless river. I haven't actually thought of a river name. So, Arya, you know what? I'm going to put you on the spot. River name. What do you got?
Of course, how about Silverflow River?
Silverflow River sounds like my urethra.
Watch out for that silver flow. Not a sliver flow. Ooh.
Sliverflow. Oh boy, yeah. Dang those kidney stones.
Salute goose. So the threats are the orcs that come down and raid from the banks of the Silverflow River that flows right past the town. And the other threat that used to exist, doesn't exist as much now, is undead that come from the northwest of Casson, across the rivers, mind you, both these things, so they're protected by that river a little bit, is the threat of the undead Though it has been a decade or so since the last reports of those undead were waylaying the travelers that went through there, so it feels a little bit safer these days. So we join our would-be adventurers on the morning of their pilgrimage. The anticipation has been immense, as it has been 4 years since the mayor has allowed townsfolk to make this trek. Being citizens of Casson, you all grew up hearing the stories and saw the older kids get their turns to make their trip to the crypt, returning as celebrated heroes at the final harvest festival of the year. The adults in town will often regale the youth with their own stories of their journeys to the crypt of the Everflame. The perils and harrowing creatures they faced. They warn people of the possibility of injury or worse.
Oh, I can't wait.
Jacob's rearing to go.
I'm going through a late puberty.
Okay, no, I'm curious about that at this point. So because you've been in the town, you know this is a ritual that's taken place. For Jacob, it's the first chance to have that happen. They look at it as sort of a passage to adulthood. So that's sort of at the young side of things. How does Jacob feel about this?
I feel like it's taken me a real long time to be a man, and this is a big step in becoming one. And, if Ekid had a cleric, he would have survived. And it does mean a lot to me. So that's inspired me to be a cleric and stuff. And so, yeah, I'm just real jacked up.
You want to heal people. You want to keep them alive.
Yeah, for sure. Especially my stepsister, Valeria. If she gets hurt, I get to apply my skills, and I'm really excited about that.
Arya, how does Valeria feel about Jacob's healing talents, knowing that on this adventure they're going to have to, there might have to be some touches?
Valeria likely admires Jacob's healing abilities and appreciates his dedication to such a crucial aspect of their adventures. She sees it as a valuable asset and recognizes his contributions to their team's well-being. However, she interprets his healing touches as simply a part of his role as a support figure within their group, and does not initially attribute any romantic intentions to them. As their journey continues, she may begin to notice subtleties in Jacob's actions and words that could lead her to a deeper understanding of his true feelings for her.
I'm in, bro. I'm totally in.
Thank you. That was eloquent and beautiful. That summarized it well. Thank you, Arya.
So you're saying there's a chance.
There's always a chance.
I get free touches.
You just have to make sure she's injured first. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I had you got hit there. Sorry, that was.
I see a bruise.
And what about Smegrun? How does Smegrun feel? Because he, like you said, he's been here for so long. He never went through this passage at any sort of younger age. He's never been chosen before.
Given my advanced age, what does Smegrun think? Well, finally, I can get into that blasted crypt and finish this right so I may get out in the world, and that Holgast has held me back for far too long. It's been so long I figured I'd end up in the crypt as a corpse before I'd be in there as an honoree. It's quite the honor to be going into the crypt with one of the Casson bloodline. Who is to know what awaits us in this crypt? There's only one way to find out. Let us adventure forth. Onward.
So this sacred rite has been undertaken most years by the townsfolk ever since Casson fell and was entombed 174 years ago. The adventurers chosen would be tasked with bringing the town's silver lantern to the crypt, filling it with the Everflame, and return to light the town's beacon, which gives the town a sense of warmth and safety during its winter months, and is a sign to all of their resolve and resilience. That brings us to the present day morning in Casson, the 4th of Neth, the same day on which Ekit Casson originally set forth to find Asar and his mercenaries. The warm autumn breeze of yesterday has given way to a frosty chill in the air that signals the start of the winter months.
My bones are cold.
My bone's cold, too.
Arya, how does Valeria feel on this frosty morning?
Valeria is no stranger to the chilly mornings of Casson. She wraps herself tightly in a thick woolen cloak, shielding her from the biting cold. Despite the frosty air, she eagerly faces the outdoors, the invigorating air causing her breath to mist in front of her. Her brisk steps keep her warm as she makes her way to meet her mentor, relishing the tranquility of the quiet, frost-kissed town.
Could have just said your nips were hard.
My nips are hard from that description. Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That's way better.
As a writer and a content creator, that just makes you bing in your pants.
What a scene.
So we're going to start on the morning of the ritual. Everybody's having a little time, a last little pep talk, a little time with their mentor. So I'm going to go through one by one, talk to everybody, see how they live, see this relationship a little bit with their mentor, and what kind of guidance they can give them, what they want to tell them about their trip to the Everflame. On the eastern edge of town, in a single tower leaning slightly to the south, made of bricks and timber, we find Holgast at home as the local sage. He is busying himself absent-mindedly about a book. Yes, there it is. Good news! I have found it. There, where? Oh, what letter was it? Where is that damn Smegrun? Smegrun!
Yes, Holgast.
Good news! I found the formula I was looking for. It's right in this book or that book. Why did you switch these books around?
Delightful news, sir. Allow me to rearrange the books correctly. I must apologize.
Yes, do all these things before you must.
You son of a...
Well, the ritual, yes. Was that today?
Indeed it is, sir.
Oh. Well, good luck.
Yes, thank you. I'm most excited. Finally get out of this goddamn... rearrange your books.
Smegrun, roll a perception check on the book that he has open in front of him.
A fatty nat. Right out the gate.
First roll.
So what you find when you have a quick little peek at the book that was behind Holgast there is you kind of flip to the last few pages, and he's been making some writings and some drawings, and it seems to focus on orcs. And their mannerisms, oddly enough, like it's not anything magic centric, but more anatomy based and sort of really calculated of how to understand orcs.
Interesting. A book on orc anatomy. Or is this some sort of orcish pornography?
It can be both.
One wonders.
Oh, yes. Okay. Well, good luck.
Yes, sir, you've said that. Thank you.
And Holgast pulls out his trademark pipe, lights that, and he starts puffing it away because he's often seen around town puffing this pipe. And while he's around the tower, is there anything you want to ask me before you get on the road?
Sir, if I could trouble you for a question or two.
Yes.
Might you share any knowledge on what awaits me in this crypt? You... for the love of...
He's puffing his pipe again. Make a diplomacy check, please, to see what you can get out of him.
7. Just tell me something, old man, please.
That's my 7 diplomacy.
I can remember the first time that I went to the tomb. I've actually been 17 times, as it were, in various manners to clean up different refuse and whatnot. But usually I send my apprentice. But the good news is that I have definitely found exactly what I was looking for. And this book here is... sorry, what did you ask again?
I was asking for knowledge on what awaits me in the crypt. What dangers, what wonders.
I have seen you as an apprentice grow to great strength, and I believe that you will discover exactly what you are looking for. Just beware of the death and dismemberment and whatnot.
Might you share how the death and dismemberment may occur? Surely you must have some sort of wisdom.
I believe you have all the necessary knowledge to make your way to the tomb and complete your task successfully. Do not be wary of what you may face, because there are things on the road that are not as scary as they seem, but dangers may await in the form of things unknown. Yes.
Extremely helpful as always, sir. Thank you.
Smegrun, make sure you wash your bits. You're smelling up the tower again.
You know that's my religion, not to wash my dick.
What?
That's how I got my name. First they smell the smeg and then they run. Smegrun. I am the Smegrun.
Do with that what you will.
Well, Nick, you wanted something to edit. Here it is, buddy. You said you missed editing.
Yeah, goddamn.
All right, we're going to move on from those two fine gents. And we're going to shift our focus over to Jacob in the morning. We've heard how he was feeling about the cold, but you are on your way to meet the one Father Randall Prast in town, your mentor.
Yes, I'm very excited. I like Randall.
Jacob enters the temple of Erastil here in town, in Casson, and he finds Father Prast busying himself. He's tending to all the little altars, because it's not just Erastil that's in there. They got small altars to Gozray, to Gorum, to Shaylin, to Toreg, those kind of ones. So many denominations can worship here, and they can find solace in the fact. So you find your mentor, Father Prast, here, and he's doing that. So how do you approach the situation with Father?
So I want to go to the altar of Sarenrae first.
Yeah, there's a small one over it's on the left side.
Okay, so I go directly to the altar of Sarenrae. So Jacob approaches the altar of Sarenrae and kneels down before it, and he wants to cast light onto the altar to make it brighter, as Sarenrae is the dawn flower. She is a goddess who teaches temperance and patience in all things. Compassion and peace are her greatest virtues, and if enemies of the faith can be redeemed, they should be.
I'm going to flavor add chastity in there too, just because that puts a whole nother layer. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
I wouldn't do that to Jacob.
Don't scare me like that. My whole character's ruined.
Got to wear one of those cages around his bits.
Yeah, he's got the chastity belt.
Yeah.
Oh, Dawnflower, I ask you again, as I ask you every day, please help me suppress my urges. I've given you so much, and it happens every day. Every time I see my stepsister, Valeria, I get these incredible urges, and I'm kind of scared of her dad. She's the guard captain. And if you could just, help me out a bit, I'll be the best cleric of Sarenrae in history of time and stuff. And then Jacob gets up.
Did he say that out loud? Does he pray out loud? I'm just curious if the father might have heard any of this.
It's definitely an internal prayer, but the father would definitely know about these things as well. Yeah.
I understand that part of it as a mentor, yeah. Ah, Jacob, it is good to see your light this morning.
Hello, Father Prast.
How dost thou feel?
Well, a little cold, and I still have a problem with urges at night.
Well, the cold helps with that, as we've talked about, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to sleep outside.
Remember, in these times of temptation, we must turn a blind eye to that which tempts us, because it turns us away from the good in the community and the good at home.
I'm trying really hard, Father.
I can see how hard.
I'm sorry. I keep trying to layer more and more underpants on to hide it, but it's not working.
Have you tried a math textbook?
You're not here.
What about that book trick that Smegrun taught you? I'll cut that, don't worry. And how do you feel about your journey that comes before you?
I feel really good. I'm ready to become a man. And, the more hero I become, the more ladies I'll get. And that'll really help with my urges.
Erastil appreciates the hungerness that you feel, for it drives you in the right direction. Beware of the temptation once you reach your peaks and your pinnacles.
So hungry.
Peaks and pinnacles. That's what it's all about. He doesn't like a good set of peaks and pinnacles.
You gotta spend time on the pinnacles to reach the peaks.
Yeah.
One day, I'll be the most powerful cleric in all of Casson, and all my dreams will come true.
You bring great honor to your name.
Do you have any more spells that involve, more touching and stuff?
Well, have a look through the spell list. Come on, don't be a dude.
You're my mentor.
I am not simply here to read scriptures and texts for you. You must undertake these yourself to truly learn what it means to harness the power of your god.
Okay, I'll do that. You're so wise, Father.
There are not many who say that. Thank you. Any thoughts on your coming trip to the crypt?
I just hope to keep my stepsister real safe and keep a safe distance away from Smegmar, as he kind of smells really bad.
Was it Smegmar?
What was it?
Smegmar is pretty good, too. Smegrun.
And keep a really big distance from Smegrun, as he's really smelly. I gotta be at least in front of him. I can't be behind him ever.
Beware of the winds. Yes, that is very wise.
Can I get a flavor stink cloud AoE attack around me at all times? What do they call that spell? Stink cloud, I think?
Yeah, there's a stinking.
Yeah.
Stinking cloud, choking
Stinking
cloud.
cloud, yeah.
Just a natural stinking cloud.
It exists at a 5-foot square, which is just yours.
Yeah.
So if there's any physical contact with you, they have to roll some sort of fortitude save to keep
Yeah.
the lunch down.
Right, yeah.
It's canon now.
It's in there.
Yeah.
But only when you go as Smegmar.
So only, okay, it has to be, that's his alter ego.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's got a little flap that he opens up.
Smegma.
You can add that to special abilities on your
Yeah,
sheet.
Smegmar.
The Smeg.
The Smeg release.
This is getting out of control.
Tails episode. What did you expect?
Yeah, so you had another Tales episode. I'm having fun.
I'm just waiting for the first hand job.
What's the natural progression in this relationship? Right? Found in a compromising position. You know the memes. Jacob, I want to say before you go that I sense a power in you, a light. And I think that light shall continue to guide you. And if you follow this light, it will show you the leadership abilities that you have to finally get that pussy.
I'm not going to lie, Father. I'm pretty jacked up. I'm pretty sure this is just the first of many, you know? There's going to be a ton of adventures, and I'm just going to easily crush them all, and then I'll get to crush other things.
Yes, be wary of the drive for battle and the bloodlust, though, because that can truly cloud our mind, and then we might give in to these temptations in a moment of weakness.
I pray for that every day, Father.
Just be mindful of your touches, and remember that these folks shall also be in your care now. You may shepherd them to safety, and in doing so, they will truly see your strength.
I'll definitely protect them. I'm looking forward to this. Don't worry, Father. I totally got this and stuff.
Utmost faith.
Yeah.
I shall pray to Erastil for your safe return. And now we are going to shift over to our final meeting. We're going to meet Valeria's mentor next. She's going to go speak with her father, who's over in the guardhouse. Valeria approaches the Town Watch headquarters, where Guard Captain Wislow spends most of his time when not out patrolling the streets of Casson. She sees a couple guardsmen outside, looking fairly relaxed in their duties. It's a lackadaisical time. Everybody's kind of preparing for the ritual, for the send-off of the adventurers, so there's not a lot of people around. They know they haven't had any attacks a lot this summer. It's been fairly nice for them. So they see her coming, and they give her a quick salute, let her in. Your father's upstairs.
Valeria salutes back.
So heading up to the top floor of the Town Watch headquarters, Valeria finds her father, Captain Wislow. He's been a hard mentor over the years, and he's just going through his routine right now. He's going through his rhythm. He's still training. He's getting on in his years, but he's still trying to keep limber. So she sees him going through his basic paces. Does Valeria try to get his attention by saying anything?
Father, I've heard tales that you once sparred with dragons in your youth. Yet, observing you masterfully execute these combat maneuvers, I am certain that age has only improved you. You grow stronger and wiser with each passing year, like a fine wine maturing to perfection.
Oh, Valeria. I didn't see you come in. It brings a tear to my eye. You're the spitting image of your mother, my little pudding.
Thank you, Father. I consider it the highest compliment. Mother was an exceptional woman, and if I could emulate even a part of her strength and compassion, I would count myself incredibly fortunate.
Aye. You've done that. You've done that, my little pudding. Do you feel ready for what's about to come? We talk about how dangerous it is, but I don't want you to be worried for what's to come, because I know you're ready.
Absolutely, Father. I've been training tirelessly for this moment. With Jacob, Smegrun, and myself together, we will support each other fully. I am ready to face whatever obstacles the Crypt throws at us. The safety of our town is of utmost importance, and I vow I will not falter in my duty to protect it.
It's so good. It's so good.
Yes, just be careful of that young Jacob. I've always accepted him as my stepson, but I'm wary of his glances and his touches towards you. It's just leave it only for healing, okay?
Understood, Father. Jacob is a young brotherly figure to me, but I will establish boundaries to maintain our focus. During our quest, I will ensure our interactions are kept strictly to what is necessary for the task at hand.
Yes, I'm sure you'll protect him along the way as well. I have to go on patrol, but I'll see you before you leave. I love you.
I love you too, Father. I promise we will return safe and sound. Be vigilant on your patrol, and we'll connect before we leave. Thank you for your wisdom and support.
Great. Thank you, Arya. So, finishing up all our little chats with everybody, there's about an hour or so now where you're going to be left alone. This is normal. You're aware that the rest of the town is going to be setting up for the ceremony that takes place right at noon. That's going to be sort of the final send-off. You would have seen these in the past being around town. But this is the first time, of course, in 4 years that the ceremony has taken place. So you might not be totally accustomed to what's going on. So you're left time to prepare for yourself, wherever that wants to take you. So knowing that you have to be back to the center of town within the hour, what do you get up to?
So Jacob immediately goes to his home and goes straight into his room. He has a small jar of animal fat with like the scent of lavender. And he starts like making his hair perfect in front of the mirror. He's got emo hair that kind of droops down over one eye, and he has to constantly flick it to the left.
Like Spider-Man, like Good Charlotte, that kind of thing? Just,
Exactly. So he puts his homemade gel in his hair, making sure it looks perfect. He looks at his cleric's robe, making sure it's spotless. He really wants to project his best self.
So what sort of, let's get a little picture of Jacob. What does he put on in terms of armor? What kind of weapons? Because he's gearing up to go on this quest, right? So he's taking everything. You do know that as part of the whole tradition, you will be given a backpack of some supplies, so you don't have to worry about a few of them more mundane things. Torches, bedrolls, that kind of thing will be supplied. But what kind of, what kind of weapon, what kind of armor are you looking at?
So Jacob has a chain shirt.
Little nipple holes cut out.
No.
Less chafing, dude.
So Jacob has a chain shirt and a golden cloak to represent that he is a follower of Sarenrae. He's got a silver holy symbol of Sarenrae, which is a symbol of Sarenrae with wings and dagger feet. Jacob has a scimitar, a light crossbow, 10 bolts.
Went with the scimitar again. You're not worried about any scimitar business happening today?
I'm going to mispronounce it a lot. He's also got a heavy wooden shield.
Oh, shield user. Okay.
Yeah, he can take care of himself.
Okay.
He's very confident. And it's all spotless. He kind of spit shines certain areas of his chain shirt, making sure he looks majestic. And then he casts another light spell on himself as he leaves the house, getting ready for the ceremony.
He just wants to glow.
Yeah.
Like that beacon.
He wants to be awesome. He wants everyone to know he's awesome.
He's casting light before even getting to the crypt. Okay.
Yeah.
That probably could come in handy, some light. What about Smegrun? What does Smegrun get up to in this free time?
Smegrun is very excited to get to the crypt, so he saunters back to his house a lot quicker than normal.
Everybody on the streets are clearing as your
Yes,
gaseous
my
clouds
aura-
sending them back.
Yes, the permeance of the odor from my nether regions is enough to repel the common riffraff. Anyhow, I get to my abode and prepare my adventuring gear. Smegrun goes up to his wardrobe and selects his finest adventuring cloak and his ceremonial encrusted breeches that extend the permeance of my powerful odor even farther. You never know when that might come in handy. I grab my trusty walking stick, or cane as it were. Cane, stay a while.
Only old people will get that.
Smegrun also grabs his light crossbow from its rack on the wall. He has many light crossbows, so many that it necessitates such a rack. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, Smegrun approaches the cage of his familiar, Terrence.
Oh, we have a Terrence.
The sneak weasel. Terrence is very good at getting into tight spaces, closed cylindrical areas and the like, so...
I don't know how familiars work. Do I have to like summon them or?
No, he's pretty much always with you. I'll just say.
He's like actually like a ferret or a weasel.
Yeah,
that I actually
yeah.
have.
It's been summoned. Basically, it can technically die because you can send it out to do attacks. You can do all sorts of little fun things with it. Mm-hmm. It does give you certain stat boosts. I think like +1 intelligence or whatever it's going to be, but that's already built into the character.
Yes, Terrence also stinks mightily, so there's that. Oh, one thing, before Smegrun leaves his house, he almost forgot his trusty scroll case. It contains many scrolls.
Very important for a wizard.
Burning hands.
Alchemist Fire is not a scroll, that's like a potion.
It's a potion.
And his spell book. No wizard is complete without his spell book. In addition to the spell book, Smegrun tucks in some clippings that he took from Holgast's Orcish pornography book, and he slides it into his spell book among the other pornographic clippings that he's taken from various books of Horngast's.
Horngast that.
Horngast. Horgast.
Yeah, but it's a funny slip of tongue.
He's quite horny.
It's a Tails. What do you want from me?
Morning, horny adventure.
Lowbrow improv hour, man.
Are you excited, Terrence? I am. Ah,
Yeah, nice.
delightful. We're going on an adventure. Technically, I make my own cheese.
It's all coming together now.
He's got a thing. We had a weasel. And finally, Valeria. So, Arya, what does Valeria do in her downtime to prepare for finally leaving on their important quest?
Valeria stands in a room bathed in the soft glow of a single lantern, her swords laid out on a sturdy table before her. She inspects them with a critical eye, using a whetstone to keep the edges of her long sword and short sword sharp and deadly. A few stretches and exercises follow, each one gracefully executed, a testament to her years of training. Her backpack is her next target, and she meticulously organizes its contents, making sure everything is in order. With her preparations complete, Valeria finds a quiet corner and closes her eyes. Focusing on her breath, she takes deep, measured breaths. Her mind is focused, sharp, and unwavering. Her breathing slows and deepens, and she feels a sense of calm wash over her. She knows the journey ahead will be challenging, but she is prepared. Valeria rises from her corner and sheathes her swords, feeling ready to face whatever dangers lie ahead. She takes one last look around the room, double-checking that everything is in order. With a final nod to herself, she leaves the room, ready to join Jacob and Smegrun on their quest to retrieve the Everflame.
Yeah, that's really good. We're doomed. I know I've said it before, but this is the end of man.
So, as you've been sort of going about these activities and stuff, I'd like everybody to make a perception check.
7.
14.
Arya?
Valeria's perception check yields a total of 14.
So you get little smatterings around town of kids who are kind of running around and going, I saw that guy got beheaded, I said. That's what my mom said. He lost his head. So you hear little mutterings of the kids kind of telling the stories that they've heard of. You do hear, or Valeria hears, while she was leaving some of the guard tower there earlier, she heard that one of the other guards mentioned that there was a group that had left town a few days prior to this to head down to the crypt to make the preparations.
As Valeria catches wind of the townsfolk planning to visit the crypt, she grows worried for their safety. She quickly approaches a nearby guard, her voice betraying her concern. "Excuse me," she says, "what preparations are being made down at the crypt? Is everything all right?" Her words carry a tinge of worry, her priority being the well-being of their town.
Roll a diplomacy check.
I rolled a 17 on a d20, so Valeria's diplomacy check totals 17.
That's some bullshit rolls.
17, pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like it knows the systems and the numbers. No, so what Valeria hears is the guard is kind of, at first he's reluctant to give up any of this information, and he finally goes, "Oh, well, I'm not supposed to say much, but, well, seeing as you're Wislow's daughter and such, well, a few of the townsfolk like to go ahead because, okay, I'm going to spill the beans a little bit, but the crypt is not as dangerous as everybody says, okay? It's, we set some traps, some fake ones, and we blunt any objects and everything, and there's a few things not to worry about, so we send them ahead, but we don't want to let anybody know that they're there, so just, maybe just play along, you know, for the other folk, and definitely don't tell anybody that I told you, okay?
I appreciate your candor and the trust you're placing in me with this information. I understand your concerns about keeping up appearances and the town's peace of mind. Don't worry, I'll keep this to myself and play along with the ruse."
So, it's coming to noon. There's about a few minutes before noon now, and the three of you all arrived at the center of town. There is a tension in the air. Not another soul in sight.
That's my fault.
I'm used to there being no people within 5 meters of me, but this much distance is a little unusual.
As Valeria takes in the unusually quiet square, her brow furrows with worry. She looks at Jacob and Smegrun, her voice barely above a whisper. Something's off. It's eerily quiet and the lack of people is worrying. Stay close and be ready for anything. Let's proceed cautiously and stick together. Valeria gestures for them to follow her, each step taken with caution as they make their way through the eerily empty square, the silence growing more tense with every passing moment.
I agree, something's weird. We should totally just follow Valeria and, listen to what she says. Because she's so hot, she's so in charge and strong.
All right, no need to be so bossy.
The bells atop the Temple of Erastil toll their midday song, echoing throughout the quiet town of Cassin. As the peals begin to fade, the first of the townsfolk make their way into the square, dressed completely in black, as if attending a funeral. They slowly fill the square, moving quietly across the cold, hard ground, their eyes downcast and mournful. After a few moments, a murmur passes through the crowd as it slowly parts to let Mayor Uptall through. He leads the way with a tarnished silver lantern. Behind him, an old pony drags a cart laden with backpacks and supplies.
Oh, it was just, a ritual the whole time. I should have known that. I've seen this a couple times.
Ah, yes, it's the ritual of the Everlight. Just a bunch of crypt heads going about their crypt-related rituals. Nothing to be concerned with.
Yeah, stand down, Valeria.
Mayor Uptall stops when he reaches the center of the crowd and calls out to the assembled townsfolk. Once again, the winter winds blow through the Weir Wood, marking the end of another harvest. There are wolves in the woods, howling at our walls, and serpents in our shadows, waiting to strike. Just as it was 174 years ago, when Cassin himself left these walls to protect us, so it is today. Where are my heroes? Where are the brave folk that will venture out into Cassin's tomb to retrieve the flame to keep this community safe for another winter?
Smegrun reaches into his robe pocket and pulls out Terrence, the sneak weasel, and holds him high in the air and yells, "Ah, we are here, the heroes are here." That's right, Terrence, you let them know.
It's like Lion King. He's got the...
Jacob draws his scimitar high into the sky.
Scimitar counter 1.
Yeah, damn it. Scimitar. High into the sky. I'm totally hearing stuff too.
Valeria stands before the gathered crowd, taking a deep breath. With a confident smile, she waves to the people and raises her voice, declaring, "I am ready! Let's do this!"
At this point, the mayor pauses to let all of our players come forward and accept their mission. He asks them, who among you is going to carry the sacred lantern?
Well, I suppose I could put Terrence in this hand and grab the lantern with the... Oh, but then my cane. Oh, a quagmire if there ever was one.
Jacob, making sure he's at least 5 feet away and upwind from Smegrun, approaches and goes, I worship Sarenrae and stuff, and she's a god of the light, and I think I will take this honor in the name of my ancestor, Ekit Cassin, founder of this town, and I'll prove to you all that I am a man.
Does Valeria have any claims to wanting to hold the lantern, or is she going to defer directly to Jacob Cassin?
All right, go ahead, Jacob. Valeria gives an affirmative nod. We'll manage just fine, stay together, and keep alert. Let's stay sharp and avoid any unexpected surprises.
Yes, you young'uns go forward. I shan't be far behind.
It depends where the wind's going. You are quite smelly.
Aye, smells aside, here's the lantern for you, lad. Remember, you carry it with honor, and you carry it with pride for all of Cassin.
I'll do you proud, Mayor.
So in turn, the mayor then turns to the cart, and he presents to each of the characters a backpack, each one containing 5 days worth of rations, a small tent, a winter blanket, a full water skin, and a piece of the trail map that will lead to the crypt.
Oh no, more lambus bread.
So each of the characters are, the fun part of it, I'm giving everybody a piece of the map, knowing that they only have one piece. They will have to work together to get to the crypt.
Should we all just kind of hold the maps together and get one big map?
Yes, that sounds like a splendid idea, young man.
Good news, everyone. I've invented a new adhesive that will fix this map in no time. I just don't remember where I put the potion.
Ah, yes, Horgast.
Smegrun, do you know where it is by chance?
I know where everything is that this man has touched and filed away.
Holgast takes off towards his tower.
There's 3 pieces of the map, so if we just maybe rearrange them a few ways, I'm sure we'll figure it out.
Yeah, you'll know sort of it's not too far away. Like I say, like a day and a half travel. It's fairly linear. This is just more symbolic. The adventurers also notice in the packs, distributed evenly among the 3 of them, is 50 feet of hempen rope, a box containing tinder and 3 tinder twigs, a potion labeled Cure Light Wounds, 3 torches, a grappling hook, and a small bottle of local brandy.
Ah, the good stuff.
I've never drank before.
Ah, well, maybe it's time you tried, young man. Put some hair on your chest.
I'm willing to try anything once.
Has Valeria ever tried any alcohol? I wouldn't think so under the watchful eye of her father, but maybe she has a rebellious side?
Whiskey isn't something I've tried personally, but I've read about it and its potential uses. If it's part of our provisions or proved to be helpful in any future quests, I'd definitely be open to giving it a go. It seems to have a range of uses, from boosting morale to aiding in negotiations or even providing an unexpected solution to a problem.
That is unbelievably logical.
If you try it, I'll totally try it. You know, maybe one night when it gets real late on the journey, we could both try it maybe.
Ah, to be young and in love.
Wait, 1 second.
Valeria let out a good-natured chuckle at Jacob's suggestion. Sure thing, Jacob, she replies, keeping her tone light and nonchalant. We could save it for a peaceful night by the fire at camp someday. It might be a nice moment of respite amidst our adventures. Valeria's response indicates a casual willingness to partake in the whiskey, but she also keeps the conversation lighthearted, not wanting to explore the deeper implications of her decision or contribute to the peculiar atmosphere.
Oh yeah, I totally understand. I agree with everything you said. You're just so great.
Thank you, Jacob. Our skills and strengths complement each other perfectly. I feel confident with you by my side. We definitely do make a great team.
We totally do.
The mayor kind of ribs you a little bit, and he's like, that's not a no.
Just need one yes.
But the mayor once again speaks up to the townsfolk, the crowd. I present to you the brave heroes who will follow in Cassin's footsteps to retrieve the Everflame. Some of them may not return. At that, you kind of hear some little titters and laughs by some of the obvious adults around. They kind of get what's going on, so they kind of give up a little bit there too. But I say to you that the sacrifice shall not be forgotten. Go, brave heroes, and do not return until you have the eternal fire. With that, the mayor points to the south, the direction of Cassin's tomb. The townsfolk begin waving goodbye, with cold, solemn looks on all of their faces.
We totally got this, guys.
And they begin walking.
No, but I wonder, like, why the solemn faces?
It's just the smell. I'm wearing my ceremonial breeches.
I hope it's just that. I'm super ready to go, though. I'm ready to be a hero.
Valeria's gaze sets firmly ahead. She takes a moment to steel her nerves and nods resolutely. With the determination etched on her face, she leads the way forward.
In and amongst the faces, you all do spot, except for Smegrun. You spot your mentors in the crowd. Valeria sees her father. He gives her a confident, knowing nod, knowing that she's prepared for this as best as can. Father Prast is there, and he kind of gives you the thumbs up. Jacob, he believes in you. He can see the light, and you're of course your armor is still glowing. That light spell is still in effect.
Yeah. No, he gives a nod back to his mentor.
And the party begins making their way south. They have left the town of Cassin, and they need to now reference their map to make sure they know where they're going. So let's have a survival check by somebody on the party. You can, of course, share the map with each other. You can aid if you prefer, if somebody wants to just roll for the group.
I don't have survival.
The animals can smell me from a mile away. I'm afraid my survival in the wild is not the best.
Survival is wisdom.
15 wisdom.
I have 17 wisdom.
The young pimply-faced kid has the wisdom.
So for a survival check, I think Jacob is the most attuned to the surrounding area. Let's have a survival check from him if we want, and then let's get Valeria and Smegrun to see if they can aid him in this check.
All right, here we go. I rolled a 9.
Smegrun aids.
Valeria rolls a 12 for aid.
All right, so that's 2 aids. That adds to your 9, so 13 total.
Yeah.
You guys are able to follow the map successfully so far.
Nice.
You've been working your way down the road. What kind of conversations has been everybody bringing up? Is it just super awkward for Jacob right now?
No, Jacob is definitely walking in the front away from Smegrun. And he is very determined in this quest. He also doesn't want to look at Valeria too much. He doesn't want to give away too much. He's very nervous. He's a young, nervous man. He wants to portray this air of command because she's also the older sister. So he wants to show her that he can be in charge and he can be serious about a mission because he knows that would impress her. And he's just looking forward to whiskey later, really.
He's just getting ready to get his whiskey dick on.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not that, but
Yeah, that's kind of the opposite of what he wants to do.
yeah,
But
he's still young. Like,
he doesn't know.
Yeah, that's an over 30 thing, really.
Or too much whiskey.
Yeah.
Smegrun is consulting with Terrence about the upcoming journey and adventure. That's right, Terrence. It's delightful. It's so nice to be out of the dusty old tower and to be amongst these young lovers, would-be lovers. 2 math textbooks wouldn't be enough to hide the bulge in that young man's pants, let alone 3 layers of underwear. That's right, Terrence. Quite foolish, yes.
So you're making your way down the road. Everybody's just chatting, getting to know each other a little bit more, for the better or worse of things. So Valeria, as you've been walking along, making your way to the broken glade, you overhear Smegrun saying a few odd things. He's making some particular comments about what he knows or what he observed yours and Jacob's relationship to be. But he's not very good at keeping it inside. He doesn't have an inside voice around these things. He's gone a little bit senile, I believe. He's quite indifferent to it. He's oblivious to the fact that they can hear him because he just thinks he's chatting with Terrence this whole time.
I must consult with Terrence on the regular. He must be kept abreast of what's going on.
So does Valeria make any comments back? Does she register these comments?
While Smegrun mutters something about young love, Valeria keeps her focus on the path ahead, acknowledging the comment with a faint smile. She understands that Smegrun has a knack for making whimsical observations and decides not to address it directly, instead choosing to stay focused on their journey.
He's clearly a crazy old man. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
How dare you? I can hear you from back here. That's right, Terrence, you give them what for.
Let's just stay focused on the mission so I can become a man and stuff.
So you've been traveling along for about 2 hours, and you're just about where you think the broken glade is, and you come upon a little bend in the road. And at that bend, you see a very large tree. As you approach it, we're about, maybe 50 feet away or so right now. You're approaching it. Let's have some perception checks.
I roll a 9 again.
13.
Valeria rolls an 8.
So Smegrun, out of the corner of your eye, up towards that tree, you see a little bit of movement as you get close. And you've made your way up. You're about maybe 20 feet now, and you still haven't heard anything. But just as you get there, 3 green humanoids jump out from behind the tree and start hurling insults at you.
Look at these runts. Come to play the heroes.
Another one looks over.
I'm gonna rip out your intestines and wrap them around.
The other 2 orcs stop and look at him with very much of concern.
Grack, we've talked about the whole intestines thing. You've got to give it a break. There are plenty of other ways to dismember someone without gallivanting straight to the intestines. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm gonna take your fingers one by one. Good. We can bring this up next meeting. I see some progress here.
Roll for initiative.
Terrence, defensive formations.
Valeria, stay behind me. I'll protect you.
As Jacob expresses his protective instincts, Valeria nods in acknowledgement but gently reassures him. We can handle this as a team. I'll watch our backs. Let's face this threat together. We can handle this. With a confident stance, she positions herself to support him, ready to defend against any attackers. Valeria keeps her guard up, vigilantly surveying their surroundings, poised to react quickly if necessary.
All right. Let's have some initiatives.
I'm quite slow.
Does Terrence get initiative?
No, he acts with you.
Okay.
Jacob rolls a 10.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Smegrun rolls a 3, or rolls a 4. 3 on the initiative.
Valeria's initiative is determined by rolling a 15, which, with her dexterity bonus, totals 21.
So as I've said, without a check, but these are very obviously orcs that have jumped out at you from behind this tree. You can see how they're equipped right now is they are all wearing studded leather armor. They have great axes and a couple sets of javelins on their back as well. So we are going to begin the first round of combat. Valeria, you have the honors.
Valeria, taking the lead in combat, swiftly dashes towards the nearest hostile, sword drawn. She scans the surrounding area, locating the closest adversary within range. With a calculated and precise attack, Valeria aims to incapacitate or weaken the enemy, targeting vulnerable spots to end the threat quickly. Her movements are controlled and efficient, reflecting her proficiency as a fighter.
Yeah, you do that. Roll an attack roll.
Valeria launches an attack, rolling a natural 17. Adding her attack modifier, her final result is a 22.
Ooh, a powerful attack. Valeria comes in with her longsword, swinging at the first orc right in front of them, and makes contact.
Has she rolled under a 17? This is getting ridiculous.
Go, Valeria. Yes.
Let's get some damage on a longsword.
Valeria's attack is successful, and she rolls a 6 for damage. Adding her strength modifier, she deals a total of 9 damage to the targeted orc.
So with a mighty 9 damage, Valeria comes in with the longsword and strikes at those vital spots. And it strikes the orc true. I'm going to need Valeria to roll a will save.
Valeria rolls a 14 for the will save, and after subtracting the 1 modifier, she has a total of 13.
13 will save. So as you swing in, you do a full 9 damage. The orc looks like he takes all of that damage. It slashes right through, and you look at him, and he almost looks like he should be falling down in complete death, but he just stares back at Valeria, goes, stands tall. It is the orc's turn.
Valeria, I'm coming. I'll help you.
I bet you are.
I don't think you meant that. You said it.
Another double entendre.
So the orc in front of Valeria that just had this war rage is going to pull out its great axe and swing at her for 18. So the blade comes down and hits the chainmail. I need another will save from Valeria.
Valeria rolls a 12 on her will save, and after subtracting her 1 modifier, her total is 11.
So as this great axe comes down and strikes right at her clavicle or at her shoulder there, it swings and she takes 14 damage.
Oh my God.
Oh my Lord, no.
She's down.
Valeria, overwhelmed by the sudden onslaught of damage, loses her fighting stance and slumps to the ground. Her grip on her sword loosens, and the weapon falls from her hand as darkness envelops her senses. She falls unconscious, unable to respond to the ongoing combat.
Oh no, Valeria. Oh my God. Oh my God, I'm coming. Oh, I get to do it. I get to finally touch her.
Ah, young love.
The other 2 orcs snarl and hoot and holler at the felling of her. He's like,
Oh, another body for the pile, boys.
the other 2 pull out their javelins and throw one at each of Smegrun and Jacob.
Oh, Terrence, incoming.
The one at Smegrun comes in at a 3.
Yes. Hold steady, Terrence.
And the one at Jacob comes flying from the other orc, gets another 3. Changing dice for the GM. Jeez. All right, so the end of the orc's turn. We find ourselves at Jacob's turn. What do you do?
Jacob sees Valeria fall, and he's really, really nervous, but he thinks that he should just charge the one with 9 points of damage already and make sure that that threat's eliminated. Jacob rolls a 2. I don't think we need to figure that out.
Oh, lad.
Jacob, seeing his stepsister fall before him in a compromising position, charges forward, sword drawn, and strikes out with his scimitar at the orc, but finds nothing.
We are in trouble.
So you're standing over her body at this point because you charge forward at that nearest orc. Smegrun, it is your turn. You can see the battle unfolding in front of you. What do you do?
Smegrun, help! Kill this guy, and then there'll be 2 on 2. We got this.
Yes, Terrence, that's right. That orc does deserve the oblivion. I agree. Let us take aim with the light crossbow. The crossbow has unfortunately missed with a roll of 5.
A lot of low numbers today.
Not a good start.
Smegrun, are you going to move at all?
I wish to reload the crossbow.
So Smegrun takes aim at one of the other orcs because he can't fire at the one that's actually hurt because he would be blocked by Jacob. So Smegrun takes aim at one of the orcs that fired the javelin at him, levels the crossbow, poof, goes whizzing by the tree.
Fiddlesticks.
Back at the top of the order, Valeria, we are going to need a stabilized check, which is a constitution saving throw, currently at 10 plus the damage done to you, which is 2, so 12 on this constitution check to see if she stabilizes.
Valeria rolls a 9 for the stabilized check.
Oh no.
She slips further away as the blood continues to pour out of her wound. And we are now back to the orcs.
Not good.
More food for the fire.
And that orc who's already hit is going to take aim and swing down at Jacob in front of him. That is an 11.
11 misses. My perfectly clean armor easily defends that attack.
The axe comes down and clatters off your chain mail. It is now the other two turns. They're feeling some target practice right now. They're both going to take aim and fire shots at Smegrun.
How dare you? Filthy creatures.
The first one gets a 13.
I believe I have been struck.
Really? You only got a 13?
Perhaps I should have cast mage armor.
Okay, so as I'm rolling this damage, I'm going to need you to roll a will save, please, Smegrun.
Oh, no.
Not going good.
9.
So this javelin hits you right in the thigh, right? Oh, it's got a good shot. Comes at you for 6 damage.
Oh, that was my good thigh. I'll need 2 canes now. Terrence, you're gonna have to walk on your own.
Are you still standing, Smegrun?
Oh, doesn't Terrence get a turn?
No.
What?
He's just a familiar. He's not an actual summoned creature.
Oh, what does he do then? He doesn't do shit.
He raises your perception and knowledge stuff, I believe. You
took 6 damage.
You're taking 6 damage. Are you still standing?
Yes, I have 1 HP remaining.
I also have 1 javelin coming at you again.
Bring it, bitches.
7.
It misses.
This javelin plants itself right into the ground beside you. It is Jacob's turn.
I kind of wanted the other javelin to hit my other thigh so I could do the ace vengeance.
Yeah, I had the same thought. White devil.
Yeah, that's right. Iquensu Ocha.
Jacob takes another attack at the orc in front of him who he attacked before, swinging his scimitar. Oh no.
You guys don't have to go easy on me because I'm a first-time DM. That's.
Well, like, I don't know what you want me to do when I roll a 3 and a 5.
I want you to understand how Travis feels. To be honest.
Yeah. Jacob rolls a 6.
So Jacob comes in with the scimitar, and this time he doesn't even make contact with the orc. The orc just kind of takes a step back and goes.
Weak.
Oh no.
It is now Smegrun's turn.
You bloody millennials, you're good for nothing.
Cast a spell at that guy that's taking damage.
You think back to what would Holgast do? He would go to sleep.
Smegrun, in this dire moment, yes, Terrence, yes, you're right. Horgast, what would he do? Well, if there's one thing that man taught me is sleep. All right. I cast sleep on the 2 orcs next to the tree. They're huddled together, those javelin throwers.
You don't have to roll anything, actually.
I don't have to roll anything. That's a shame.
You just have to know what your save, your DC is going to be for this check.
Yes.
What's your modifier? Your intelligence?
8.
So 4 plus 1 is 5, so 15 is the DC.
That's a 15 DC for your will.
Okay, I got 2 will saves for these orcs that are going to be trying to be put to sleep. That's not very good. -1, 7.
That orc falls asleep, just like Horgast.
For how long?
How long does that spell last? What's the duration on it?
Allow me to consult my spell book.
While you're doing that, I'm going to roll the other will save and see if we can get one of them to stay awake. 5.
1 minute per level, so that I believe that will be pretty much the combat.
So a spell is cast,
Yes.
and the 2 orcs that were hurling javelins down the battlefield suddenly start to feel a little bit drowsy, and they kind of look around going,
Did you? We've been here all day, did you? So I have a little now, baby. The guy goes, intestines.
Very good turn, Smeg. I keep wanting to say Smegmar. You've got it in my head now. Smegrun. Okay, so
Smegrun.
back to Valeria. She's going to have to make another stabilize check. See if she can cut off this. I don't know if it's an artery or something, but she's bleeding out here. So can she stabilize before help can arrive?
Valeria rolls an 18 for the stabilized check.
Valeria has stabilized at -3. All right, so she's stable on the ground there. We come back to the orcs. 2 bodies hit the ground as orcs 1 and 2 javelin throwers find themselves sleeping prone on the ground. Orc number 3 goes,
Ingrates.
he can't seem to get over to them, but he's going to take his swing. He's going to take out all this frustration with his great axe right on Jacob in front of him. Comes in at a 10.
A 10's a miss.
The orc swings down mightily with his great axe, but finds it planted in the ground for a second. It is now Jacob's turn.
Enough's enough, orc. It's time to meet your doom. I'm going to be a hero one day, and you're going to be the first one I kill on the path to being the greatest hero from the town, named after my great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, and I'm going to get all the poontang in the world, and you're going to be the first, and I'll remember you for that. The speech worked. Jacob rolls a 19.
That is definitely a hit. Let's see some damage.
And with my scimitar way up high, thinking about my stepsister, I swing down at this orc for 6 points of damage.
6 points of damage is exactly enough. Cobbles to the ground. Please roll a will save.
Jacob rolls a 14.
You bring your scimitar down. It slices through, cutting the head almost clean off, but the orc falls to the ground at your feet, dead.
You see that, Smegrun?
Yes, most impressive, lad.
Wonderful, we've brought him in. It's Smegrun's turn now. Or sorry, I guess I should ask if Jacob wants to move or now, because he's only made a standard action so far.
Jacob will stay still, because now that the other orcs are sleeping, I think it's time to heal up everyone and then attack them.
Yes, quite astute, boy.
Now we come to Smegrun's turn.
Yes, I shall approach. Yes, Terrence, be on the lookout for any other threats as we heal.
Valeria is stable on the ground. The orcs are asleep. It goes right to Jacob's turn again.
Okay, I'm going to call upon the light of Saren Ray. Please heal my allies, and especially my stepsister, who's on the ground, and make us all really feel good again. Jacob rolls a 3.
All right, everybody heals 3, bringing Valeria to 0. So she is now currently awake, on the ground, prone, and she is staggered at the moment.
Don't worry, Valeria. I can do that again. Smegrun, let's just wait one more turn.
No rush. Smegrun shall stand firm.
All right, Smegrun stays where instructed, expecting some more healing to come his way. It comes around to Valeria.
Valeria, having managed to stabilize herself, slowly rises to her feet, her strength slowly returning. She stands awaiting Jacob's healing abilities, relying on his support to fully recover from the fight.
The orcs are asleep. We're back to Jacob.
Okay. Oh, good to see you up again, Valeria. I'm just gonna put my hand on like your lower back, not like your butt or anything. And I'm also gonna touch Smegrun there too, to make it seem like I'm just doing that to everyone. And I'm gonna cast another channel.
Be sure not to disturb the encrusting of my breeches. I have them just the way I like it.
And Jacob rolls a 6.
So she perks right up and she's feeling quite better now at 6 hit points.
Nice.
Ready to enact some swift revenge on some sleeping orcs, perhaps. All right, Jacob, are you going to move now at all? You make your way over to the sleeping orcs or anything?
Get over there, lad.
I'll lead the charge again. And with my movement, I'm going to move all the way around the tree and show Valeria my bravery by going straight up against the sleeping orcs.
Valeria, observing Jacob bravely confronting the remaining enemies after her recovery, experiences a profound feeling of admiration and gratitude. Filled with renewed determination, she quickly regains her footing, expressing her deep appreciation for Jacob's courage and support. This moment fuels her resolve to face the remainder of the battle alongside her ally, their unwavering unity becoming palpable.
Bottom of the round, Smegrun.
Terrence, let us approach the sleeping orcs and ready the light crossbow. We'll ready the action to fire upon any filthy orc that manages to stand.
All right, Smegrun gets in an advantageous position should these orcs arise. We are to Valeria.
Drawing on her inner strength, Valeria leaps back into the fray, empowered by a renewed sense of determination. With resolute purpose, she positions herself alongside Jacob, her sword poised to defend and support her ally. Her presence exudes an unyielding resolve, signaling her commitment to protect him and ensure his safety in the ongoing battle.
We got this, Valeria.
There's an interest to go for a high five or something there, but they're concentrated on these sleeping orcs, so they don't want to get ahead of themselves yet. It is the sleeping orcs' turn. They are still asleep. Surprise. Jacob's turn.
I want to do a coup de grace.
Great. Jacob will raise his scimitar above the sleeping orc.
I want to stare Valeria right in the eyes as I'm doing it, and I just want to hit him right in his stupid orc face.
Ooh, a face shot. Okay.
Jacob rolls a 14 for damage on the coup de grace.
14 damage. He takes that to the face. But he wakes up and stares at you from the ground. As the coup de grace hits, can you roll a will save?
Jacob rolls a 26.
So Jacob, as you drove your sword through, you didn't feel any resistance. Your sword just kind of went right through, and the whole orc in front of you just went, it just kind of disappeared into like a dust, a smoke. It poofed out of there, and so did the one beside it. So did all the damage that appeared on Valeria and everybody. They are still very concerned with what's in front of them. They see these orcs here, but you don't see them anymore.
Oh my god, the orcs disappeared. What kind of magic is this?
It is Smegrun's turn.
Not today, filth. Smegrun pulls the trigger. 9.
Unfortunately, that is not enough to hit our orc friend, for he is prone on the ground, so receives a +4 against ranged attacks.
My eyes are not what they used to be. That's right, Terrence. I'm terrible at shooting.
We now find ourselves at Valeria's turn with a sleeping orc in front of her.
Valeria, demonstrating her mastery of combat, swiftly advances towards the wounded orc. Her long sword poised and ready, she locks her gaze on the weakened enemy. With precision and purpose, she delivers a lightning-fast coup de grace attack, her steel blade descending on the orc with a deadly force. Her strike is calculated and precise, aiming to neutralize the threat once and for all.
Wonderful. Let's see some coup de grace damage.
Valeria, focusing on neutralizing the wounded orc, lands a decisive blow with her long sword. Her aim is true, and she successfully rolls a total of 20 damage, swiftly finishing off the weakened enemy. A sense of satisfaction fills her as she watches the orc fall, knowing that she has effectively eliminated the threat with her powerful strike.
So the blade comes down from Valeria this time, right for that vital spot, trying to separate the head from the neck quickly, doing a very good amount of damage. And as the orc is going, she needs to roll a will save, with a +4, having heard from Jacob that these might not be exactly what they appear. So I should say an additional +4.
Valeria rolls a 19 on the will save, her mental fortitude unwavering.
With that, Valeria also witnesses what Jacob did, and the images disappear into nothing, and all of her wounds and everything disappear as well. She's perfectly fine.
I don't know what's happening. They're all just disappearing. And all of a sudden you seem fine, Valeria.
What are you talking about?
The orcs are gone.
They're right there.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Maybe your eyes are deceiving you, old man.
Maybe old, and my eyes may be decrepit and useless.
What?
I can still distinctly see 2 green blobbish sort of shapes at your feet.
Smegrun does witness when Valeria strikes down that orc, it dies on that initial impact.
It's dead. One is dead, and the other one is nearly dead.
I don't know. Maybe you just go check it out or something.
The one orc that's left tries to stand up, prompting 2 attacks of opportunity from both Jacob and Valeria.
Jacob rolls a 12.
That misses. Valeria gets a chance with her longsword as well.
Valeria leaps into action, her longsword flashing as she executes an attack of opportunity against the encroaching enemy. She rolls a 16.
The opportunity attack hits. Let's have the final bit of damage, hopefully. Heeding Smegrun's words of there is still a threat out there, thrusts her sword forward, and the last orc has fallen to her blade. And they disappear for Smegrun as well. Any javelin ill effects that he felt possibly from earlier, gone. It's like they were not there. Anything is not around. So the orcs are dead. The party stands triumphant. Really none the worse for wear. Can I get a perception check from everybody after that battle?
What is even real? 18.
15 for Jacob.
Valeria attempts to perceive any danger or hidden threats, but rolls a 6, leaving her with uncertainty.
Finally, she rolls low, like freaking hacker.
So Valeria, after the battle, kind of looks around in a little bit of disbelief. She doesn't really know what to believe from this. Jacob, you hear a faint kind of rustling from the big tree that was beside this whole combat, but you don't see anything or hear anything else. You kind of see like a branch just kind of move. Could have been an animal or something like that.
And there are no bodies.
There's nothing left.
Oh my god.
So Smegrun, you also hear this thing in the tree as well. But you detect a faint kind of waft, a smell of a very familiar smoke.
Something infringing upon my musk. What is this smoke?
And you stand triumphant. The road before you, clear and looking not very dangerous.
Jacob, come here. See if you can smell my musk as strongly when you're standing here now.
Oh, I definitely smell something that's more than your musk. Can we take a look at that tree?
Yes.
I want to see what's happening with that tree. Something's going on with that tree.
Yes, let us look. A fatty natty.
Perceptions or survival if you have those.
23.
14.
Would Valeria like to perceive as well, or is she...
Valeria, curious about the unusual disturbance in the nearby tree, decides to take a closer look. She rolls an 11 for perception, hoping to gain a better perspective on the situation.
So still not very perceptive, but everybody has a pretty good look. Smegrun gets right in there, and everybody's looking at the branch. They kind of boost him up to get right up in the branches there, and you don't see anything out of the ordinary. You see maybe somebody was napping there for a while. Maybe somebody... You smell that same smoke that you're used to back in Kessin.
It smells really bad down here. What do you see up there?
Yeah, actually, Jacob, can you roll a fortitude save for being that close, for hoisting up Smegrun, please?
Jacob rolls a 17.
That's going to do it. I think he can withstand that. He can look, I think, confidently over at Valeria and be like, and just give him that extra little push to make sure his nose is up in there.
I've been around it a lot.
My crotch is right in the lad's face. Quite commendable.
He stands true. Sarah and Ray is blessing him, or hopefully at least protecting him. So everybody comes down to the tree. There's really nothing to see in there. You see remnants of the smoke and possibly somebody had maybe been there before.
There's definitely something going on. I don't like it.
We must continue with our mission. Let's stay focused and not let distractions deter us from achieving our goal.
Great. So behind Valeria's lead, you all start pressing forward, following the map as before. Can I get a survival check?
I'll check it out with the maps if you guys could just aid me.
Smegrun aids.
Valeria aids.
That's a 17.
17 is wonderful. You're making good time. You follow the map now at a very kind of brisk pace. Is anybody changing the way they're walking now that you've had this encounter? Is there a little more worry, or is it just confusion? Are you talking about it? Are you trying to suss out what happened, or is everybody just kind of in their own thoughts? Because I thought Valeria was going to fall there. Everybody thought she was dead.
I definitely feel like I saved the day there. I'm a little confused as to why they disappeared, but I'm definitely jacked up that Valeria saw me not only revive her, and I got a little touch, and I also killed 2 orcs.
Terrence is in my ear, trying to convince me that reality is an illusion, merely some sort of simulation, meant to gauge our abilities and talents. I don't know if I buy it quite yet, but he makes a compelling argument. Yes, exactly. Quite insightful, Terrence.
After finding herself in danger, Valeria would experience a mix of gratitude and determination. She would feel thankful for Jacob's quick action, as well as even more appreciative of his bravery and dedication to continuing the fight. Witnessing his valor would give Valeria a sense of inspiration, motivating her to match his courage and contribute her best to the ongoing battle. This experience would strengthen the bond between them, making Valeria feel more confident in Jacob and her own abilities because of each other. She would likely be even more committed to standing by his side, fighting side by side together.
I feel a strong bond between you, Valeria.
I love bondage. Bonding. No, that was his step up moment. That was pretty good.
Yeah. One step closer.
Now, Smegrun's still confused possibly about what's going on and considering planes and alternate dimensions.
Terrence is very wise. He knows many things that we humans do not.
Great. You've made it to the Broken Glade as this part of the journey continues, and I'm going to roll for no particular reason, and the day goes smoothly for you. You've been walking for half the day. It's been 8-9 hours. And as the sun starts to get low in the sky, it's time to set up camp for the first time. So I'm going to need a survival check to locate a good, decent spot around.
My dogs are barking. Yes, Terrence, your dogs are barking too, even though I'm carrying you.
Jacob rolls a 21 for survival.
Yeah, without even aids, Jacob's feeling this power right now, this bravado a little bit with Valeria paying a little more closer attention to him. So you find a nice spot. It's surrounded on most sides by trees, 2 or 3 sides is all covered in. It's got thick bushes around. So you're going to set up camp. How do we go about that?
I always feel at home in thick bush.
Guys, I hope you're okay with my spot, and maybe Smegrun can take the first watch, and Valeria, like if we sleep close together, we'll be extra warm and be comfortable and stuff for body heat purposes.
Valeria nods, taking a moment to consider Jacob's proposal. She appreciates the practical aspect of his suggestion, but values maintaining personal boundaries. Jacob, I see the practicality in what you're saying, she begins, a diplomatic tone in her voice. It makes sense to conserve warmth during the night, but I think we should keep a comfortable distance for now. We can still share the tent space without being too close, allowing us to have some privacy and personal space. Valeria pauses, weighing her words carefully. Safety and rest are crucial tonight, so it's important for us to prioritize our well-being.
Yeah, I agree. Personal space and all that. Same tent, though. Yeah, I'll take that. That's a win.
What an unusual sleeping arrangement. Who am I to judge?
Step sister.
So you start setting up camp. What's everybody kind of doing as the night winds down? It's not ready to bed down just yet, but is anybody kind of making a fire? Is anybody going to do some cooking? Is anybody going to take on different roles in the party?
As Valeria assesses the campsite and its surroundings, she makes sure the area is secure before settling in for the night. She then suggests a watch schedule, ensuring that they take turns keeping watch throughout the night to remain vigilant against any potential threats. Afterwards, Valeria attends to her weapons, sharpening them and attending to any minor wounds she may have sustained during the fight. In her quiet moments, she might take time to reflect on her experiences or meditate, mentally preparing herself for the challenges that lie ahead.
Jacob just kind of follows around Valeria and does all the same stuff to show her that he's useful too, and he can do all the same things, and he's a grown-up guy.
Smegrun and Terrence engage in a spirited debate about the very natures of reality, whilst inspecting the integrity of the trees and the ground to find any potential clues as to their nature, their true nature.
Great, so everybody's partaking in different activities as the night goes on. Can I just get a perception check from everybody? Just a general perception as the camp's winding. You hear the crackling fire.
Jacob rolls a 22.
20.
Valeria rolls a 13 with her perception check.
It's getting to be around 9 o'clock, I think maybe 9:30 or something like that. The watches are going to start soon, but you all hear during your respective activities that way to the southeast, even beyond the forest possibly you think, but you start to hear some wolf howls that are just way off in the distance. Nothing to be concerned about, so that's what you hear.
Nothing to be scared about, Valeria. I'll protect you from the wolves.
Another illusory trick, perhaps.
Yeah, illusory.
What say you, Terrence? Yes, certainly. What, do you wish to know what Terrence knows?
It's become our R2-D2.
Yeah.
Which I originally heard were a whole bunch of dirty lines. Like, they had to cut them because they're like, a robot wouldn't say those things, so they just changed it to the whistles and the beeps.
Motherfucker.
It's sort of mirrored in the way that because C-3PO still reacts in the same way. He's like, my word, like, what a rude little robot. Like, he just like swears up a storm, basically.
Always goes back to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we'll say the watches are going to start. People are going to bed down in about 30 minutes or so. Have one more perception check from everybody, please.
Oh, I didn't do too good that time. I'm just looking at my stepsister and wondering, when we get to sleep close but not too close tonight. So I only roll a 5.
15.
Valeria rolls an 11 for her perception check.
All right, so everybody's heading back to camp. They're everybody's getting ready. They're heading to the tent. They're brushing their teeth, whatever they need to do. Now, is that going to be the order? Smegrun first watch?
Yeah, I'm really worried about just keeping my hair out of my eye and making it very welcoming for Valeria to come into the tent with me.
Terrence and I will continue our debate and investigation on reality.
Great. So you guys are heading in, and with those perception checks, you all hear the howling. It's gotten a little bit closer.
Oh, man.
Just a tiny bit. Again, it's sort of that far off through the forest. How would they know you're here kind of thing, but you hear the howls, and they're out there.
I'm sure Smegrun will wake us up, Valeria, if those wolves come any closer.
Can I do a knowledge about any of this stuff?
No, if there's anything you'd be learning about the wolves themselves, it'd be a knowledge of nature, but that'd be more when you see them to discern anything you know about the wolves. The mayor, of course, did warn at the beginning that wolves are howling at our gates and everything, so you're used to wolves. That's one of the normal creatures that you'd see around here as well. So it's getting on now, and it's getting into, say, mid-watch for Smegrun, and I'm going to need a perception check.
Smegrun pauses his debate with Terrence. Have a look around. With 13 on a perception check.
So Smegrun, as you're having that conversation, maybe Terrence is nodding off for his. You guys have had a little spat, so now you're back to back and turned it around in a huff. He's like, and at the right at the edge of the firelight, you swear that you see a few paws kind of creep into the light, and you hear a. And we will see you next time.
Oh, no. Oh, I have full trust in Smegrun, though. I know he'll do the right thing and not wake me up. Well, I have my first chance to really get close to Valeria in a tent, and he'll just deal with those wolves, and everything's going to be fine.
Ah, young love.